To learn, adapt, overcome, and discover is a key aspect of our human nature. Without the desire to learn new things, mankind would hardly have progressed from our primitive stages. Though our modern-day triumphs and findings are much more random in subject and not quite so survival-orientated, they remain important and intriguing nonetheless. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we'll be taking a look at 3 recent discoveries. Mysterious island teeming with life only 4 years after being created. In 2015, the island of Hunga Tonga suddenly emerged in the southern Pacific Ocean near Fiji. A hidden underwater volcano erupted and drove the rock up to the surface to create the island. The volcano was situated between 2 already existing islands in the South Pacific, then connecting them to one oversized island. It's located in the Kingdom of Tonga and technically has no official name, but locals have dubbed it Hunga Tonga Hunga Hapai, which they call Hunga Tonga for short. It is a volcanic rock island situated 19 miles southeast of Tonga Island. It is made up of black gravel and is relatively small. Within the last 150 years, only 2 other volcanic islands have suddenly burst into the ocean like this. NASA and other research organizations have been studying the island closely, taking frequent GPS measurements to map out the island. Most of their research has been conducted purely by satellite or aircraft until 2019. 4 years after it initially emerged, they finally visited the island and observed it on foot. The scientists noted that the ground was not quite like sand. Instead, it was made up of pea-sized gravel and was quite painful to walk on. They also found that hundreds of seabirds had already nested on the southern cliffs of the island. Most surprisingly, though, was what they found on the black gravelly beaches. Beautiful pink and purple flowering plants were growing across the devoid island, despite poor soil conditions. Scientists believe that the plant life grew because of the seabirds, called sooty terns, living on the island. They seeded the isle with their droppings. Whatever seeds and plants they ate were then transferred into the soil and fortunately took hold of the environment, allowing flowers to bloom on this mysterious island. Researchers are eagerly studying Hunga Tonga, trying to learn as much as possible about the process and qualities of rare volcanic islands before it erodes completely. Due to the harsh weather conditions of the Pacific Ocean and constant rainfall, the island is crumbling away quickly. Scientists are surprised at the rapid rate at which the coastline is eroding and are not sure how long it will take until it completely disappears. Until then, they will continue to observe the volcanic rock, take measurements, and watch the flowers thrive. A melting glacier reveals a World War I shelter and artifacts in the Italian Alps. Finding leftover artifacts from the tragic days of World War I is not unusual for Europeans, but it can certainly be frightening as the most common type of findings tend to be unexploded devices in marshes. The Italian Alps are a beautiful place, but for over a century they have concealed a moment in time frozen in front of our very eyes, keeping the time of the First World Conflict halted as the world developed and advanced around it. On a fateful day in November 1918, Austrian soldiers left their mountain station on the Italian Mount Scoluzzo, only for an icy glacier to form over the cave's entrance, trapping all the items inside. The glacier is beginning to melt, and as a result, scientists have found countless pieces of memorabilia from the time of the conflict stashed away beneath the icy exterior of the cave. Archaeologists and historians were aware of the cave prior to its melting, but because of the thick ice, they could not get through it until 2017, when the ice began to melt and thinned enough to allow them to enter and explore the cave and its contents. By now, the entire excavation has been fully conducted, and archaeologists uncovered a plethora of things, from frozen food products, straw mattresses, utensils, jackets made of animal skins, and period-based newspapers. This little cave revealed in full what life was like for the soldiers in 1918, or at the very least, for those soldiers who fought upon the mountainside. Stefano Morosini stated that the artifacts are a representation, like a time machine, of the extreme conditions of life during the First World War. The group of Austrian soldiers was about 20 men in size, and they lived in the cave with an altitude of 10,151 feet in the air. Survival itself was a struggle, not to mention having to fight alongside the harsh environments. In the winter, the temperature of the Italian Alps could drop as far as -40 degrees. There is an overwhelming likelihood that the majority of the soldiers sent up to the Alps perished from hypothermia or avalanches, which can also be common during the winter, instead of passing away in actual conflict. Stefano Morosini added, soldiers had to fight against the extreme environment, fight against the snow or the avalanches, but also fight against the enemy. The fighting in the Alps is now romantically known as the White War, and has had several poems written about it, glamorizing it, especially during the early 20th century. The battle lasted for 3.5 years until the Austrian soldiers retreated from Mount Scoluzzo. Countless individuals are spread across the mountain's range. Marco Ghizzoni, one of the archaeologists who excavated the glacier cave and a worker at the Museum of the White War, said, "A corpse is found every 2 or 3 years, usually in places where there was fighting on the glacier." Hikers in 2020 came across a chilling sight of a frozen corpse of a soldier, with several other individuals found in the Alps within the last few years. NASA approves asteroid hunting space telescope to continue development. Recently, NASA officially backed the NEO Surveyor, or the Near-Earth Object Surveyor, and its further development following a mission review's thriving results, which proved it useful for future intents and purposes for protecting our planet from intergalactic dangers. The review's authorization means that the NEO Surveyor is now eligible to move on to the key decision point B state of its development, colloquially known as the preliminary design. This space telescope obtains infrared lenses which are specially made to improve NASA's defense systems in the case of potential life-ending disasters from outer space. The NEO Surveyor is meant to discover any potential threats and run them through an inbuilt list of characterizations that will identify them accordingly into various categories, including comets and asteroids, among other dangers. Mike Kelly is one of the experts on the NEO Surveyor team and a program scientist at the headquarters of NASA, and he states, NEO Surveyor will have the capability to rapidly accelerate the rate at which NASA is able to discover asteroids and comets that could pose a hazard to the Earth, and it is being designed to discover 90% of asteroids 140 meters in size or larger within a decade of being launched. Currently, NASA has confirmed that an estimated 40% of nearby objects of the desired size have been found. The goal for the future is for the NEO Surveyor to be able to uncover up to 90% of all objects close to Earth more substantial than 1,000 meters or 3,280 feet in size. Kelly Fast, one of NASA's program managers, commented about the usefulness that the NEO Surveyor could have for future endeavors. Each night, astronomers across the globe diligently use ground-based optical telescopes to discover new NEOs, characterize their shape and size, and confirm they do not pose a threat to us. Those telescopes are only able to look for NEOs in the night sky. NEO Surveyor would allow observations to continue day and night, specifically targeting regions where NEOs that could pose a hazard might be found and accelerate the progress toward the congressional goal. Fast's comment holds ground when the criticality of discovering and analyzing NEOs is taken into consideration. Time wasted on the characterization of comets or asteroids can cost us greatly in the future and take away precious moments which could be spent trying to protect ourselves from imminent catastrophes. An NEO Surveyor investigator, Amy Mainzer, agrees with Fast's comment and confirms that the ability to search for NEOs in the daylight, especially in the direction of the sun, could be of huge help for astronomers. Mainzer additionally complemented the NEO surveyor's ability to combine infrared light with ground-based observatories and their usage of radar, which could assist the telescope in precise detection of any NEO's position in space. The official launch of the NEO telescope is currently set to occur 5 years from now in 2026. Mysteries great and small surround us. We can never truly be too sure of anything because science is an ever-changing form of art and an endless source of knowledge. Our past can be altered with one unearthed artifact to make us question all truths. Our future is abundant with fears and excitements when it comes to potential technological developments. But what do you make of these interesting discoveries? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below and help us by growing this community by working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.